We invest a lot of money in denim. Unfortunately, kids wear out pants in a hurry. I'll show you a few modern methods for mending your child's worn-out jeans without sacrificing style. This tutorial is sponsored by allfreesewing.com. The first thing you have to realize is that a patch is going to be visible and obvious. Trying to hide it will just make your repair look more homemade. So instead, we'll try to make them a part of the style and fashion of the jeans. For this first pair, I'm making heart patches out of denim. I'm reusing denim from an old pair of shorts. Begin by ironing a piece of denim to a piece of iron-on interfacing. This will strengthen the fabric and make it more durable. Cut a heart from a piece of paper to use as a template. Trace the heart on the back of the interfacing and cut out. Iron the knees of the jeans and trim any frayed areas so you have a smooth surface to sew on. Use a little temporary fabric glue to hold the patches in place. It's easier to sew without pins. You can hand stitch the patches in place with embroidery floss and a decorative stitch. Machine sewing can be tricky with small sizes or skinny jeans. Adjust your machine if possible by removing the extension table or flatbed attachment. Be sure you're only sewing through one layer of the jeans. If you're machine sewing, consider using a contrasting thread for a pop of color. These jeans have pink accents, so I selected a pink thread. I also like to fray the edges of the patch a bit with my fingernail. The interfacing will prevent the denim from fraying too much. While shopping recently, I noticed that jeans with sparkle are a hot trend. When I spotted this pair with shiny patches, I couldn't wait to get home and make some for my daughter. Begin by ironing the jeans. Cut a rectangle to use as a template and trace around the area you want to add bling to. Cut rectangles of sparkle fabric that are about an inch larger than your template. This gives you a little more material to work with, so you don't have to stress about making sure it's perfectly aligned. Cut pieces of iron-on interfacing that are about an inch larger than the fabric pieces. Lay the sparkle fabric face down and iron the interfacing to the back of the fabric. Because this fabric is synthetic, I'm going to avoid ironing the front of it. Cut out the rectangles you drew on your jeans and turn them inside out. Center the sparkly fabric over the holes. Since you have a border of excess interfacing, you can iron the edges to the jeans so you won't have to pin. Turn the jeans right side out and sew around the edge of the rectangle hole to secure the fabric. You can hand fray the edges a bit if you'd like. Your mending job will look more professional if you repeat the style elsewhere on the jeans. Iron sparkle fabric to a piece of interfacing, then cut to fit inside the stitches of the back pocket. You'll probably have a hard time sewing this tight area on your machine. If your child is small and never uses their back pockets, just go ahead and stitch them shut and no one will ever know. Otherwise, hand stitch the pocket embellishments in place. If your child had an overnight growth spurt and his jeans are suddenly too short, you can lengthen them by an inch or two. Begin by trimming off the hemmed area of the pants cuff. Cut about ½ inch above the cuff so you have room to sew on the new one. I like to use flannel for this project, but corduroy is also cute. You'll need to cut 2 rectangles of fabric that are as long as the circumference of the cuff, plus 2 inches. The width will depend on how much longer you want the jeans to be. The width should be double the desired length plus 2 inches. So, since I want these jeans 1.5 inches longer, I cut my fabric to 5 inches wide. Fold the strip in half widthwise and press. Then fold in the top raw edges 1/2 inch and press. Fold in the raw edges of one short end 1/2 inch and press those as well. Sandwich the raw edge of the jean cuff between the layers of folded fabric. Line up the pressed short edge with the seam of the jeans. Line up the edge of the flannel fabric with the edge of the cuff. Pin and sew along the bottom edge of the cuff to attach the flannel to the denim. When you reach the seam where you began sewing, fold in the raw edge of the flannel and align with the original seam. Once it's sewn, insert this new cuff inside the leg of the jeans. The denim hem should be at bottom. Line up the seams and pin. Sew where the flannel and denim meet with a zigzag stitch to minimize fraying. Fold the new cuff upward and press. To keep the cuff from flopping down, top stitch directly over your previous stitches while the cuff is folded up. This pair of jeans also had worn out knees. You can add flannel patches beneath the holes to make the jeans appear as though they're lined with flannel, or you can add patches on top. I'll demonstrate how to do that with flannel. First, cut 2 squares of iron-on interfacing. Iron these to the flannel fabric. Cut out the squares, leaving an extra ½ inch border all the way around. Cut square notches into each corner of the flannel so that you can fold the edges in neatly. Fold inward and press. Use a little temporary fabric glue to secure the patches while you sew. When making patches in a contrasting print like this, I prefer hand sewing with embroidery floss. Cross stitches look cute. Again, your jeans will look better if you add similar styling elsewhere on the pants. Consider adding a few cross stitches on the pocket area. With these fun mending methods, your kids' jeans will look embellished, not repaired. This tutorial was sponsored by allfreesewing.com. To see the other videos in this series, visit my website madebymarzipan.com and search for Modern Mending.